It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Good evening, everybody. Ernie Johnson here with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Great to have you with us on 2K Sports. Tonight, we'll see the Los Angeles Lakers playing against the San Antonio Spurs. Not a lot to complain about for this San Antonio group right now. This is a team they played pretty well against last season, going 3-1. They'll look to keep that edge tonight. And we'll be watching the big man Brook Lopez in action tonight. Seems wherever he takes the floor, you can always count on him to give you about 20. How great is that to have from your starting?
2K Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
Welcome, everyone, to the... And let's... It definitely did, David. He won titles when he played for the Lakers. Now he'll try to bring that winning mindset back to L.A. Some say, Kobe, that the shooting guard crop in the NBA right now, a little light in terms of depth. Not quite as many top two guards as we used to see play the game. Who do you like among some of the two guards you see now in the NBA?
Well, it depends who we're considering a two guard.
Right,
now,
because they just blend,
twos,
don't they?
The threes, they all just blend.
Combo guards are playing some forward position. It's tough, isn't it?
Yeah. So, shooting guards to me are guards that have to do everything. You have to be able to play the post. You have to be able to play the perimeter. You have to be able to play the point. You have to do everything. So I'll put Russell Westbrook in that category. I'll put James Harden in that category. I'll put Kawhi Leonard in that category. There's a lot of players I'm forgetting. Even Giannis, I would say, is two guard because of what he does.
Yes.
So there's a lot of talented guards out there.
Did you like the ball in your hand, bringing it up, or would you have rather someone else bring it up, then get it to you in the half court, and then do what you did?
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm jealous about Michael. Because Michael didn't have to do that. He had Pippen.
Yes, right. Who always brought it up.
Yeah,
yes,
so he could focus on coming off the screens and catching and shooting. He didn't have to think about facilitating first. He could think about scoring and then passing out of double teams.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's check out who's on the floor, courtesy of Gatorade. On the court for San Antonio, Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. EJ out there with Mills, and it's Gay in at the 3 spot, picked by Randall. Ball kicks to Randall. Caldwell Pope on the wing, 6 to shoot. That 3 off the mark. And Kobe, you talked about coming off screen. Some guys come off a screen and kind of just lollygate. You came off and you passed the ball and then get back at it again. Yeah, efficient. Explode off those screens.
Angles, right?
Yes.
You got to be able to read those things, and when you're catching, you're in attack mode all the time. Because then it's demoralizing to the defense.
I'm sure it is.
You're always on.
Yeah.
You're always looking. You're always checking. You're always in fear that he's going to attack. So we always try to keep our foot on the gas.
Always.
Our foot on the throat.
Yeah. And so it's the Lakers with it, following the bucket by the Spurs. Picked by Randall. Now here's ball, covered by Mills. Caldwell Pope with a wide open look. Another miss by Caldwell Pope. San Antonio's gone 1 of 3 from beyond the arc so far in the game. Kobe, you were a player who lived in the gym. What motivated you as you go back and look at all those hours you spent in the gym to do that, to follow that path?
I loved it. I loved the game. It wasn't a matter of working hard. I didn't realize I was working hard until like a second or third year in the league. When I realized here in the NBA, a lot of players don't do that.
Right.
It was kind of a big shock to me. Like I assumed everybody in the NBA
just worked hard.
Yeah, but to me it wasn't hard work. It was like, I love doing this. Like there's no place on earth I'd rather be than be here in this gym with a basketball and a hoop.
But the greats are always the hardest workers, aren't they? I mean, right, have you ever seen a great player who is not the hardest worker on their team?
No, I've seen players have great seasons, and and then the next season it's
they
not
fall.
So much,
right.
And then they have another great one, and the consistency isn't there. The truly great players love what they do, and that looks like hard work to the outside world.
Did you enjoy playing the game? And there was so much you put into the game, but did you enjoy the game?
I did. I enjoyed the game. I loved playing, the competition and all that, the getting ready and all that. But I enjoyed practice more.
Did you?
I did. I enjoyed training and practice more than I did the games.
So last season, Kobe, one of the closest MVP races we've had in a long time, came down to Westbrook and Harden. Who did you think was going to win before the results came out, and why?
Yeah, I didn't even stop to think about that because they're both like little brothers to me. So even though I could sit there and say,
LA
okay,
kids too.
Yeah, I know them both extremely well, and they're both extremely deserving of it. So I refuse to split it.
Yeah.
You know, they're both my guys.
And different kinds of games, and both sensational individual players.
Yeah, they're just phenomenal. I mean, they can do so many things in the game, and now I think the next progression for them is to be able to dominate the game off the ball just as much as they can dominate on the ball, right? Because in the playoffs, the defense has a hard time finding it.
And Kobe, how did you learn to watch tape? Because there are guys now watching tape and they'll just go, and you wonder if it's really even sinking in.
Trial and error.
Yeah, right. But really, that was it.
Trial and error. You know, you start looking at things, you start saying, man, like if I'm watching an edit on a player and I watch one particular game, and then I look at the next game, man, he's doing the same thing. And the next night, he's doing the same thing. Hold on, let me go back and watch. And then you start looking for consistent behaviors or patterns in their behavior. And then you think, okay, maybe that's something that's a tendency for him. Let me go back and check. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles, turn. 2 dribbles. Oh my God, yeah,
there
that's
it is.
it.
There's the pattern.
Right, so what if I interrupt him between his first and second dribble and throw him off a rhythm? What'll happen then? Right? What if I know he's gonna go 1-2, turn right shoulder? I let him go 1-2. Now I jump to his right shoulder. Now he can't turn there. What happens then? Right, you throw him off of their patterns.
And, you know, DJ is always trying to get his guys going. If they're open, he finds them.
Well, you got to play against some great defenders in the NBA like Draymond Green at Golden State and others. What are some of the things that, I mentioned Draymond Green, that he does as a player that you think separates him from the rest of the defensive guys in the league?
He does his research. He does his homework.
You can tell.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you can tell. When you watch him play, he puts himself in position before the offensive player even attacks. And how does he know that? Because he's watched the film. He studies. He knows the player's tendencies. And so when you mix in the research to go along with his frame and the quick hands and the foot speed, then you have a defensive player that's a force.
Now, here's Caldwell Pope. It's Ingram on the wing. He's covered by Gay. Shot to stop the run. And it's Ingram missing.
That's a shot he's got to hit. You don't get many looks better from that range.
In competition, once again, Kobe, the thing that drives you so much, even on the practice floor, you and Jordan were so much alike in that regard. Is it important to go with your teammates and challenge them in those practices that you recall?
You have to challenge them, because if you don't, then they become conditioned to not have those challenges every day, right? So if you come off of a night where you have a back-to-back, for example, and you have a practice the next morning, it's our responsibility to step into that practice and challenge them as if it was the game that we just played the night before, right? Because if you do not, then you don't have that competitive spirit day in and day out, where then you feel like you can take games off because you can take practices off because you just don't have it in practice, right? So it's our job to bring that every single day so that competing just becomes a habit.
And you learn about their mental endurance, their physical endurance during those practices.
Well, yeah, you challenge them to learn about themselves, right? You challenge them to think about themselves. Can I push it a little extra? I'm going to have to, because he's driving me like crazy. And if I don't meet that challenge, I'm going to have to hear his mouth all practice long. I'm going to have to hear his mouth on the plane. I'm going to have to hear his mouth on the bus. I'm going to have to hear his mouth in the locker room.
Yeah.
And I'd rather just compete.
Zubac is checked in for the Lakers. And San Antonio also making a switch. Anderson's checked in. Here's Murray, and it's Murray with the jam.
Well, I like that he shows no hesitation there.
Well, that's as easy as it gets, quite honestly. Riding solo and coasting all the way to the rack. No simpler than that.
Looking at who's out there now for the Lakers. Dudley comes in for Brandon Ingram. And it's Tyler Ennis in for Caldwell Pope. And San Antonio with the change here, too. Laverne, he's checked in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Kobe, I'm assuming that you've had teammates come back later and say, Kobe, you made me a better player.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when we're playing together, they don't like it very much because I'm always challenging them. But then at the end, like, even to this day, we're all very close. We're all great friends because they knew what I was trying to do was trying to push them to be the best version of themselves.
Now, here's Ball. 17 points for him last game against Sacramento.
And it was not a one-man show. That was the best part. He had just as good a game with his passing as he did with his scoring.
Green against Dudley. Green, the pass to Laverne. There's a good screen. Murray dishes to Laverne, and the lead now, double digits on that bucket. And the Spurs lead by 10. And Kobe, something that has changed in the NBA over the course of your career is the role of the power forward, the four. More and more you need to be able to stretch the floor, take your guy outside, shoot the three. Do you feel that that's a trend, or is that something you think that is here to stay in the NBA?
Well, I think things will evolve and things will change. I mean, you start getting power forwards like Tim Duncan and Garnett back in the league, Dirk. All of a sudden, it becomes less and less of a commodity to have smaller fours.
Right.
Because you're going to need to deal with the Tim Duncans and the Garnetts of the world. So I think it's just a natural evolution thing.
Did you, when you had to guard a big like that, ever fear going out and trying to get him on the side or even working him inside the lane where he would have more power, more advantage?
No, I never worried about it too much. What I try to do is I always try to study the film and figure out what their tendencies are, what their sweet spots are, and you just try to get them off of that. It's not necessarily about the size of them, but how do you get yourself in position when you can knock them off down a little bit and use the lack of size that you have to disorient them.
And the trend around the league, Kobe. Big group substitution here for the Lakers. Brook Lopez is checked in for Zubac. Julius Randle comes in for Larry Nance. Ingram, he's checked in for Jared Dudley. And it's Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in for Ball. The lengthy pair of KCP and Ingram on the wing. Randle is the 4 with Lopez in the middle. And it's Ennis in at the 1 spot. That's the Laker 5. And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, DJ in the last matchup against the Kings really lit up the floor. He ended up with 22 points, and along with what he did on offense, he had a big defensive night as well. He was great in every facet of the game. Afterward, his coach couldn't stop praising the effort. Everyone will see if he maintains that inspiration tonight.
Thanks, David. It was a performance that not many players are capable of.
I know I won't forget it for a while, and you have to think he'll keep it rolling here tonight. When you're that hot, it takes a while to cool down.
And you know what, Greg? I think defensively, they're going to be ready for him. They won't make things easy. Coming off a game like he just had, I mean, he's going to get a bunch of attention.
Here's Caldwell-Pope after the basket by San Antonio. Takes the 3. Randle. Here's Lopez. And at last, they get one to fall. Lopez has got his second basket of the game. Hey, Kobe, after dedicating pretty much your entire life to the game of basketball, a game that I know you love, you said you don't miss it. Why is that?
Well, because I've been through that process. I mean, I started playing the game when I was like 2 years old, and playing professionally for 20 years, and I left no stone unturned. So there's no regrets there. I've done everything I could possibly do, and truthfully, the game is still with me. The discipline has changed. The industry might have changed. But the same approach, the same things that I've learned from the game, I carry with me to this day. So the game is still inside of me.
And it's Ingram missing.
Just a solid performance on the interior. The rebounding has been off the charts.
Yeah, you look across the board, it's actually sizing up, shaping up to be a great game. I mean, strong performances throughout, and they've really been strong on the glass.
Kobe, and any chance you might coach or might be a consultant to an organization, for instance?
No,
not at all.
Listen, players reach out to me and they'll call me and I'll give them advice, and I like it better that way as opposed to being tied down with one particular franchise. And I like what I'm doing now, and any player from all over the world can reach out, and I'm there for them in terms of providing advice or counsel.
Well, the story got out last year in the playoffs that Isaiah Thomas and you had some conversations.
Yeah. Well, he reached out and had some questions about how to approach that particular series, and I just said, send me over the film. What are you looking at? And I'll tell you. I'll take a look at it and I'll tell you what I see, and then you can go from there.
Under the leadership of Commissioner Adam Silver, the league, Kobe, has been proactive, looking to improve the game. What are some changes you'd like to see coming up in the future?
Well, more physical play. That's one of the things I think. It just drives me crazy.
You never shied away from physical.
No, I mean, this is the NBA, right? So I always look at the NBA as another level of play, another level of physicality. It's not the same calls that are being called in high school or being called in college. This is another level. And it certainly used to be that way. Now there's a lot of little touchy fouls here and there that I'd rather see not be a part of the game.
That has changed, hasn't it?
Oh, my goodness. In Europe, the game is actually more physical. Think about that for a second.
Well, out of bounds, the Lakers will take possession. And here we go with the breakdown tonight of the front court and back court rebounding numbers for the Lakers.
And it's been the bigs doing most of the work on the glass, and really no surprise there. That's what you pay those guys for, to control that paint and haul in those misses.
Hey, Kobe, in recent years, we've seen a lot of players choosing in free agency to join up, join forces, join friends, other talented players. What do you think of Durant and Golden State, the big three with LeBron going down to Miami? What are your thoughts on that trend?
Well, everybody's got to do what they feel is best for them. Personally, it wasn't really my cup of tea. I'd much rather compete against those guys and do it that way. If winning in LA wasn't going to happen, then it just wasn't going to happen. I wasn't going to leave and go someplace else and join forces to try to win a championship.
How about recruiting players, like, say, hey, come to the Lakers and you and I can do something special here?
Yeah, listen, that's fine. That happens. Players talk to each other, play with each other. But it never crossed my mind to try to recruit another top player that I'm competing against.
Interesting.
Never. I've always wanted to compete against them. So that's a little strange to me.
Now here's Ingram, following the shot by Rudy Gay. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul, shot misses. He'll be shooting two. And you think, Kobe, of these super teams, it's like they need backup. Like a buddy, like walking down the hall in high school with the bigger guy, right? I don't sense you ever...
No, but it's like, growing up, I watched Magic and Michael go at it. Yeah. I watched Magic and Bird go at it. I don't want to see them play together. Personally, I don't want to see that. Right. What would my childhood be if Magic and Bird played on the same team? What would we be watching?
Magic's Lakers, Jordan's Bulls, Bird's Celtics.
Yeah. It's and even for Michael,
so.
Yeah, if you ask Larry, you ask Magic, you ask Michael, they much rather compete against each other, right? Because you bring out the best in each other. They would have won every single championship from now until the day they retire if they played together, right? But that's not the point. The point is the competition.
And your team.
Yes.
And here is DJ, following the three-pointer from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Well, he's holding his team back. Really a hindrance. Can't make a thing. He's way off today.
That bucket in no time at all. Caldwell-Pope's got 7 now in this quarter. Looking at the last game for San Antonio, it was a win against the Kings.
And typically on the road, it's harder to get into a great rhythm offensively, but they did just that.
Yeah, and from the start, Greg, you could tell they were ready to go. Loved how fearless they were, confident, aggressive, attack mode. They don't care where the games are played. They're ready to get it done.
And the foul called on Pau Gasol. That's his first foul.
Yeah, the way he's climbing all over him on that one, no way the officials are going to miss that.
Tell you what, he might have gotten that rebound and gotten away with it if he had gone straight up, but didn't work out.
At the elbow, Randall. Over Gasol. That's short off the rim. San Antonio leading by 13. Kobe, that fadeaway jump shot of yours is such a foundational part of your game. What's the key to that particular shot? And who's carrying the torch for that shot now?
Well, yeah, the fadeaway is there's different ways to shoot the fadeaway. There's a Kim Olajuwon way of shooting the fadeaway. There's a Michael way of shooting the fadeaway.
Oscar used to do it. I know you.
Oscar used to do it quite a bit. So I try to use bits and pieces from each, depending on the defender that I'm facing. But yeah, there's certain players that are carrying that shot now. LeBron shoots the fadeaway quite often, as does KD. He shoots it a lot. Clay will shoot it. Kawhi will shoot it quite a bit off the pull-up jumpers and things of that sort. So there are a lot of players doing it.
Aldridge's shot is good. Well, it seems like with more threes and more skill-based play, the league is adapting more of a European style of play. You grew up in Italy, Kobe. You know about that style. You appreciated that style. How did that impact your personal development as a player?
Well, tremendously. If you look at the era in which I grew up in Italy, you look at the players that came out of it. It's myself, Pau Gasol, Manu Ginobili. There's a lot of players that grew up in that same time frame that play the game fundamentally sound because I think all the coaches here in America were doing camps and clinics for coaches overseas.
Like Hubie Brown, right?
Exactly.
He would always go overseas in the summer.
Exactly. And so we were products of that teaching. So all of our coaches growing up were implementing the fundamentals and the basics of the game taught by these amazing American coaches. So we were kind of fortunate in terms of the time that we grew up.
Paul with a wide open look. Shot clock reset for Los Angeles. San Antonio leading by 14. Green kicks to Laverne. DJ with it. He had 22 points in the win against Sacramento. On the wing, Green. Over Dang. Green, no luck. And Kobe, while those coaches were imparting the fundamentals abroad, did that get lost in translation, you think, here in the States?
Well, I think they just took it for granted. I think players took it for granted, and you start seeing the teaching starts slipping. It's like, you know, if you have a parent that's constantly telling you to clean your room, after a while you start tuning out the parent.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that is what happened here in America, which is why you see some of our fundamental skills erode over time.
Are you saying that your girls, your 14, your 11, they tune you out?
Oh my God, yes. I could say something a million times, but if Beyonce says it one time,
yeah. It's law.
That's it. Hey, dude, I've been saying the same thing for years. No one listens to me.
And we'd like to thank you for stopping by, Kobe. Hope you come back and join us again.
I definitely will. I had a great time, man. Thank you for having me.
And Clark, you've been broadcasting for the entire span of Kobe's playing career. How is it to share a booth with someone who you've watched progress throughout their entire career?
Well, it certainly reminds me that I'm moving into that last block on the demographic charts. I'm in the early third quarter, if you will, that's for sure. But it's a treat because it's wonderful to see how he grew as a player and as a man, and much respect for Kobe Bryant because he's a first ballot Hall of Famer and doing great things off the court too.
Now here's Dang. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game.
Yeah, and you got to run Dang off that three-point line. He's superb at knocking down the triple thanks to that fast release.
Now here's Murray. Not a lot of room. There's the screen. Second chance shot. Shot's good by Laverne. Laverne's got his third basket of the night right there.
Defensive rebounding, just such a crucial part of the game.
Yeah, it's finishing your defense, Greg. We know that.
Thank you, David. And we'll be back for the third quarter of action following halftime. Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first two quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Often modern NBA players will get criticized for not being sound enough with their fundamentals. Clark, do you feel that's a fair statement?
I really don't. I think it's a bit of an overreach. You know, we all have revisionist history. Things were always better in our past than they are currently. I mean, the stories get better as we get older is one of the ways I've heard it framed. I think the players are more athletic. And because they play growing up in more structured environments, I think sometimes they don't get the same nuances and feel for the game that you would get from just playing organically. But I still think fundamentally the players are quite good, and I do think that's a bit of a reach as a sweeping statement that they're not as sound fundamentally today as they were in the past.
On the court for San Antonio, Aldridge is at the 4 with Gasol at the 5. Mills out there with DJ, and it's Gay in at the 3, the small forward. Aldridge, the pass to Collier. The kick out to Aldridge. Now here's Mills. Lopez covering from 12 feet out. No good off the back of the rim. Lakers trail by 17. Here's Ingram. Gasol with the rebound. Gasol's got his 8th rebound here tonight. And Mills kicks to Gay. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. There's the dish to DJ. Gay left side. Another miss by Gay.
And, you know, it hasn't been his night, but his team still leads, so that's encouraging.
Here's Ball. Gasol with the rebound. Gasol's got 9 rebounds in the game, getting it done. Now here's Mills. He's covered closely. Aldridge kicks to Mills. Feeds it to DJ. Outside for Gasol. Over Lopez. No good from Gasol.
That's 1 for their first 4 to start the second half.
Here's Caldwell Pope.
And you really got to be in awe at the way that Kentavious Caldwell-Pope plays defense. So disciplined in this era of three-point shooting to kind of stay home on fakes and playing great position defense. He just sticks to his man like glue. And one of the more surprising moves this past offseason was when the Pistons let KCP go. Two sides couldn't see eye to eye on a contract, and eventually they let him be an unrestricted free agent.
And DJ is a rock-solid passer, has a good feel for who to get the ball to.
Timeout called the Lakers. And Greg, Caldwell-Pope ultimately ends up on the Los Angeles Lakers. Strange to see such a talented player get renounced by his old team, the Detroit Pistons.
Yeah, you just don't see that very often. And after the Bradley trade, the Pistons seemed ready to move on. Lucky for the Lakers to pick up a player like Caldwell-Pope so late in free agency.
Lopez kicks to Ingram. Over in the corner, Randall. Pass to Ingram. From past the arc. That's good from Randall on the assist from Ingram. Ingram's got 3 assists tonight.
Nice job. Very good rhythm. Randall on the catch and shoot.
Gay with no one around. Tried to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good. Here's Caldwell-Pope, and Gasol sends it back.
And really, Gasol does an incredible job getting his hands up in the air, which results in a ton of rejection.
Spurs leading by 17. Murray kicks to Anderson. Now here's DJ. He's covered by Deng. There's the pick. Here's Murray. Rebound the Lakers. And this matchup with the Spurs, it's their first meeting of the season.
The game is the first of a 3-game season series for these clubs, both looking to take round 1.
And Greg, the first time you face a team in the season, that's when you're looking to take that mental advantage. Demonstrate you're better, and that could make it easier down the road.
Caldwell-Pope, he's checked in for Jared Dudley. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Spurs.
Guys, how about all the second chance points they've been able to convert throughout the game?
They haven't wasted time getting the ball up the court tonight either, and it's resulted in a lot of fast break points.
Ball no good.
And the shots just continue to say no in terms of falling.
DJ with it, now guarded by Caldwell-Pope. Dang against Green. Anderson with the screen for Green. Tries it from 19. The Lakers with the rebound. Ball's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Caldwell-Pope for 3. It's good from long range. Caldwell-Pope's got 5 points now in the quarter. Out to the right wing. DJ dishes to Laverne. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And let's go now to the rookie watch. For the past month, these have been the most productive NBA rookie scores. DJ number 1. Lonzo Ball 3rd.
These 2 rookies have been going head-to-head in the box scores for a while now. There have been a few big nights for both of them.
Yeah, and these guys, Greg, are built to wear you out. I mean, young, talented. They lit up the pinball machine last month. Let's see if they can keep it going.
Their 3rd three-pointer in a row.
Adjustment time for these guys. The defense has to make some adjustment here.
DJ with it, now guarded by Caldwell-Pope. Great open look there. Murray's got 13 points.
And that's how you answer back.
Exactly, Greg. I mean, go right back at them. Show them you can shoot from outside all night long.
Nance passes to Caldwell-Pope. Nance a screen. Nice ball movement here by the Lakers. It's good. 8 points for him.
And not relying at all on the three-point shot. They may want to rethink about stretching the defense a bit like they did in that first half.
Now here's Murray. He's guarded by Caldwell-Pope. With the teardrop. Here's Laverne. And it falls over the rim and in. And the Spurs lead by 18. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. It's the Spurs. They lead by 18. Live from the Staples Center, you're watching 2K Sports. And we're getting underway here in the fourth quarter. The scoreboard tells the story in this matchup, but we'll see how much things change up here. Spurs leading by 18. Ball runs point with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope to his side. They're the backcourt. Hands out there with Dang, and it's Zubats in at the 5, roaming the paint. That's the Laker 5. Aldridge with a screen on Caldwell-Pope. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Oh, and he plucks it off the glass. Wow. That one goes in. Here are the Lakers. And Clark, we saw this a bit last season. When a team is up and it's garbage time, are there unwritten rules as far as shooting or scoring go?
Yeah, I think you always want to play within the spirit of the game, the spirit of the rules, the respect of the game, and the respect of your opponent. So to me, that should be, you try to always do what's right and just and fair at all times. And late game situations create an environment where you want to always take the high road and play the game with a honoring attitude towards your opponents and the game.
Free throw good. Dang. Clark, when you watch a team that's clicking on offense, what are some of the smaller things, the small details that are setting them apart?
Well, a couple of things. One is solid screen setting. That's huge because that's an unselfish act when you set a screen to get somebody else open. Then ball movement. Being willing to go past a good opportunity for a next pass best opportunity. I think the Golden State Warriors do that as well as any team in basketball. The extra pass, sharing the ball, and giving themselves up for each other.
Now, here's DJ. D right on him. Good for another field goal. Number 5 in the night. 5 for 10 shooting.
And, you know, DJ's interior game is very impressive. The big thing for him is that excellent body control. When he takes his time, he's really dangerous in the post.
Nan's a screen. There's the pick. Down low. Zubats, that's good.
And when Ball has the ball, it's in good hands. He can run the offense, no doubt.
Murray kicks to Anderson. Anderson the screen. Dishes it to Aldridge. Chalk up 2 there. And the Spurs lead by 20.
He's been a different guy here in the second half. His shooting percentage far better than it was before the break.
Stolen by Anderson. Passes to Collier. Now the feed to Murray. He dishes it to Aldridge. Anderson the screen. Aldridge the pass to Anderson. Shoots over Zubats. Anderson's shot is off. Outside Dang. And the NBA has tinkered with the All-Star voting in recent years. Fans no longer get 100% of the say for the starters. Clark, how do you feel about that change?
I like it. I mean, again, the fans desire to be involved and should have an opportunity to be engaged in the voting because they're so important to the success and popularity of the league. So I like the fans having a piece of the voting. 100% is far too much, so I think the fact that you've got it weighted between fans and those who follow the league closely, along with coaches, is about the right blend to me.
Here's Aldridge. From out on the wing, he knocks it down.
His mid-range game is what sets Aldridge apart from the other bigs in our league. He's about as accurate a shooter as you'll find among players with his size.
Now Ball. Pass to Caldwell-Pope. There's a screen. Shot clock at 6. Dang for 3. Again, the miss by Dang. Spurs leading by 20. Out to the right wing. And oh, he blocked it and deflects off the backboard. They've been looking out of sync offensively.
Yeah, their offense has ground to a standstill.
And that one is good from Zubats. Zubats has got 4 points this quarter.
One of the most impressive things about Ball is his awareness. He's got great court awareness and is a terrific distributor.
San Antonio calls timeout. Well, it seemed like destiny that Lonzo Ball would end up with the Lakers. He found his way to the team he grew up watching.
You know, and rarely do you see a team and player be such a perfect fit. But that's the case here. And the pressure will be on Lonzo to succeed in L.A., put a lot of faith in getting to the Lakers. And remember, he turned down workouts from every other team because he wanted to wear that Laker uniform.
Catching up on the changes for Los Angeles. Lopez, he's checked in for Zubats. And it's Ingram in for Luol Deng. Now, here's DJ. He's guarded by Caldwell Pope. Here's Mills. Once again off the mark by San Antonio.
And I love how his teammates have stepped up for him. He's struggling, but they're ramping it up and getting it done this quarter.
Ball dishes to Caldwell Pope. Kicks the ball. Lopez a screen. And Gasol comes to help. On the wing, Nance. Here's Ingram. Again, Los Angeles.
Ingram really graceful with the catch and shoot jumper. His lightning quick release allows him to get off his shot in no time.
And Mills kicks to Aldridge. Gay outside. Here's Mills. The pass to DJ. Outside Aldridge. Finds himself wide open and drills it. Aldridge has got 10 points in just the second half.
And I think they're winning because of him. I mean, he's hitting a lot of his shots right now.
Ingram kicks to Nance. Over Aldridge. Great positioning on the putback. That's 10 points for Brook Lopez.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
The dish to DJ. He kicks to Gay. Fires from 18. He doesn't hit that one. And the Lakers will go the other way with it. And he could not get that one to go. A lot of contact, and he'll go to the line for 2. They get Pau Gasol.
Love how Ingram toys with the opposition. Just is unflappable, drawing contact easily on these kinds of shot attempts.
And the first one drops. And Brandon Ingram, the second overall pick in 2016 out of Duke. What do you make of his rookie season?
You know, very much a work in progress. You have to remember how young he is. Didn't turn 19 until 3 months before the draft. And he's still rail thin. So he's got a chance to improve very quickly over the next few seasons as his body continues to mature.
And really, guys, I can't put a ceiling on Ingram. I mean, with his length and his shooting stroke and work ethic, this is a guy who I think has the potential to be truly great.
Caldwell Pope kicks the ball. And here's Randall for 3. Caldwell Pope. Gasol with the rebound. Feeds to Mills. Gay kicks to Gasol. Spurs passing it around. Gay sets the pick for DJ. No good from Gasol. For the Lakers, they won their last contest, that game against the Kings. Here's Caldwell Pope. Another miss by Caldwell Pope.
And that's the shot you want to create. They just can't get it to fall.
That's what I call an everything but. Good execution, just didn't knock it down. But you're right, they're happy with that shot.
Kicks it out to Gay. And then Gay with the dunk.
And got to admire how Gay sees the floor. Effortlessly shredding the D on that drive. Just a fantastic penetrator.
And the foul called on DJ. That is his first foul of the game. Ball kicks to Randall. Pass to Lopez.
And throughout his career, Gasol has continued to build upon his reputation as a lockdown defender. He gives his all on that end of the floor.
DJ passes to Gasol. The three from Mills. Offensive rebound. Aldridge slides through for his 7th basket in 11 tries.
And he's starting to show that killer instinct this quarter, looking to extend the lead.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Caldwell Pope for 3. Buries the long-range jumper. Caldwell Pope's got 20.
He's putting on a commanding performance here. He's hit 2 3-pointers in each half now.
Gasol dishes to DJ. Puts it up from 12. Randall grabs the board. Randall's got 6 rebounds here tonight.
He's been anything but his usual self this quarter. It's actually been ugly to see.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
DJ with it, now guarded by Caldwell Pope. Here's Mills. Makes it off the glass.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Yeah, and you can tell they feel like they can get inside whenever they want to. I mean, it's been carte blanche, full menu for them, and the defense really not offering any resistance.
Off target with his 3. Spurs leading by 18. He feeds it to DJ. Dishes to Gasol. Good looking screen by Gasol. From deep, Gay, and it's Ingram with the rebound. Ingram's got his 5th rebound in this one.
Well, he had 1 3-pointer in the first half, but so far in the second, he's come up with goose eggs.
Now, here's Ball. Defense is right there to the inside. Here's Lopez on target from 13 feet.
Lopez is really dangerous as a shooter if you give him space to catch and then shoot.
And Mills kicks to Aldridge. Gay with it, out guarded by Ingram. DJ passes to Aldridge. They get a hand on it. 3 on the clock. Goes up on the wing, but they'll get another chance.
And that's a good job of just getting after it on the backboard, gets them another possession, and allows them to run even more clock.
That shot by Caldwell Pope, no good.
That's really too easy a chance to miss, guys. He needs to be more aggressive and focused on his finishes.
Passes it to DJ. Left side Gasol. Moves back up, and there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup, and while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call it a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line.
And Pau Gasol, one of the most skilled 7-footers this league has ever seen. Whether it's the low post, high post, flaring off picks, you want the ball in his hand.
And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. And Pau Gasol, a very good perimeter shooter, starting to stretch his range out beyond that 3-point arc.
Yeah, his face-up game is becoming more and more prominent. Working from that elbow, he's become more of a triple threat. He can shoot it, drive it, and pass at a high level.
San Antonio making a switch here. Laverne, he's checked in for Gasol. Anderson comes in for LaMarcus Aldridge. Manu Ginobili's checked in for Rudy Gay. And it's White in for Patty Mills. Ginobili kicks to Laverne. Now, here's DJ. He's covered closely, and referee play review is something that is still relatively new in the NBA. Clark, you think it should be expanded?
I think we should continue to modify and refine it, and be careful to not look to overdo it. But we also want to make sure we're using it productively and prudently. So modify it, refine it, evaluate it each year, and try to make really good use of it in the areas where it can be most effective in enhancing the calls that are made in the game.
Here's Kuzma, and plenty of contact on the shot, so 2 free throws coming up. And the foul goes against San Antonio.
Shooting for Los Angeles, Kuzma. 2 shots.
First one falls for him. And the Lakers, Greg, for a long time could rely on the lure of Los Angeles to draw top free agents. History does a lot, it seems.
Yeah, Paul George listing them on his short list shows they still have that pull, but the Lakers will be big players in free agency, I believe, in the near future.
That one misses.
Yeah, he cuts the deficit a little bit, but not as much as he could have. One miss can make a big difference. And so just rolling to the finish line now in what has been a very confident-looking performance for San Antonio.
They never settled for mediocre shots.
And Kevin, they had great penetration this time out.
And when it's all said and done here, this will mark their 38th W on the year.
And once it becomes official, this win gives them a nice confidence boost against this team. They'll face them twice more this season.
The stats tell us, Greg, that the winner of the first game is a big favorite to come out on top in the overall series.
And you know, guys, what a nice performance it was for Pau Gasol.
And you have to love the effort he put forth on the glass. He played with a fire no one else could match as he chased down those rebounds.
2 shots.
The first one falls. And good on the second, so he makes them both. The shot and game clock separated by 4. And White kicks to Laverne. Outside, White. He dishes it to Laverne. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. Now here's Ennis. And so it's San Antonio easily taking this one. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
And that's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks very much, Rudy. Congrats on the win. What was working for you on offense tonight?
You know, I think our defense kind of got our offense into it. You know, we're that kind of team. Our defense makes our offense. We run the floor and we share the ball. So whenever we out there playing defense like we did today, we usually are in a good position.
Great performance tonight, Rudy. Congrats on the win. Back to you, Kevin.
David, and that'll do it, folks. For David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, and Mark Kello, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for being with us.